So if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that there was some technical difficulties at the Organic Growers School this year. And so this video is just my impressions of the spring conference of the Organic Growers School. If you don't already know, the Organic Growers School is located in Asheville, North Carolina. And they have a conference, one in the spring and one in the fall. And the spring one is 2 days, the fall one is 1 day, and this is the spring one. So I'm just gonna talk about my favorite classes and stuff. So the first class that I took was Intro to Biodynamics, and I really kind of walked into this one blind, which is kind of the best thing to do at the Organic Growers School. And I had just heard the word biodynamics in kind of like the ether and didn't really know what it was. It's biodynamic farming. And so I learned a lot. It is a very interesting way of farming. Basically, you treat the farm as like a body, and the parts like body systems, like the animals on your farm as a system, and the different types of pastures and the buildings and the people that work on it, and they're all like different systems in the body, and they all have to work together. The other part has to do with compost and these things called preparations, so you use the preparations to put in the compost, and then use the compost on your farm. And that is healthy soil, healthy vegetables, a healthy body. Basically, that is the theory behind it. The preparations are a little weird. They use various animal parts in various ways, and so yeah, that's probably the weirdest part. And it's interesting. So, but if you want to know more, I would suggest looking into it, because, it's a method of farming, it's out there, and it's cool to know about different ideas of how to run a farm and how to look at the world. So the next class I took was medicinal mushrooms, and that class, it had I thought it had really good information, but it was like way over my head. So I just sort of ended up taking a lot of pictures of the slides, and really he got very far into constituents and parts of the plants, and I really wasn't there yet for mushrooms. I'm really not there yet for any plant. I'm just starting to learn about the different active ingredient, the different active parts that make up a plant, like tannins and alkaloids and all this stuff, and you're like, what? And it gets super sciencey, and you're like, what? So but it was still a good class, and I needed one below, I think. And then my third class of the day was tonics in the kitchen, and it was all about how to take herbs and how to use them in your cooking and stuff like that. I did really enjoy it. I was hoping there would be a few more recipes, but it was great. So the last class was propagating plants for permaculture, and the best part of the class was we got free plants to take and plant on our land. I gave them all to my friend Ellen because she has land. So we got some elderberry, and we got some yarrow, and I forget what else that we got. And last time I heard they were doing well, so that was awesome. I feel like I really, when we got a poster, it was a propagating poster. Which it was great, but other than that, I really did not feel like I learned anything. It was like a class that seemed kind of disorganized, and it's a shame too, because the teachers were really good, and I just think that the the structure of the class could have been better, but sometimes that happens. So at the Organic Grower School Conference, there's always like a lot of vendors. There's a ton of vendors, which is really awesome. This year they were in a big tent, and it snowed, and it was just pretty great to be out in the snow and to be at this conference, and to be learning all this stuff, and there was a bunch of, so there was like the Nutty Buddy Collective was there talking about nuts and then there was a huge like mushroom like booth, which I didn't get any pictures of because it was like so busy. I got a few, but it was always so busy. Red Moon Herbs was there. There's always like an acorn cookie that you can buy. There's some plants, trees, plants, just a bunch of really great stuff. Some of the herb schools are there. Books, there's herbal books. So yeah, always like to get time in to look at the tent and the vendors and everything. So day 2 was intro to the 5 elements, and that class literally blew my mind. This is before I started herb school, and I knew that she was such a great teacher, but this class, like, I was crying in class because I'm going through like a lot of health issues right now. And, for the first time, like, I felt like I could actually get help for all of them. So it was very emotional for me, but the class was amazing on a second level where, like, she totally, like, laid out the 5 element theories, and it totally made sense. And she's really good at taking, like, a complicated topic and making it very digestible in a way that does not, like, simplify the information. And I actually took a class on the 5 elements last year, and this class blew that class out of the water. It was a different teacher. My second class was dairy goats for homesteaders, and I just took it because I like goats, and I've never taken an animal class at the Organic Grower School. I had a goat growing up. We had a mama, and then she had babies. It was a really good class. It was like an overview and a good idea about what like keeping goats would entail. And then you could go more in depth. There were some book suggestions and some stuff like that. And this lady who taught it, she has a big goat farm, a big dairy, they do cheese and everything else commercially. For me, like, I just don't even know if I'm ever going to get a goat. I have 2 cats. That seems like enough sometimes. So, and we don't have any land. But I want to take it because I like goats, and I thought it would be a good class. The next class was Wake Up Your Soils with Weeds, and I really wasn't sure what to expect about this class, but this class was awesome. A lot of like the weeds that I deal with are actually like medicinal herbs. So I've got a real affinity for what is called a weed, and the teacher, she's really been like, instead of like spraying and spraying and spraying, she has a method with like working with the weeds, and you know, those weeds tell you something about your land and where it is in the evolution, because you know that it wants to evolve into like a forest at some point. So like it's a good indication of what's going on, and you know, you work with them. It was a little technical, so I just can't even, like, all I can do is summarize, especially right now. So but I really enjoyed the class. It was really great. A really interesting take on land care and management. The last class was plant pathology, and we talked about like pests and plants. It was a good class, and I was a little tired by the end of the day, so you know, I wasn't listening too well, but it was still a good class. So that is the Organic Grower School. They have a fall conference. If we go, I'll do a video, and hopefully it will work out where there's just more than me blabbing at you. And then you can check out I'll put the Organic Grower School website information in the description and probably on the screen somewhere. So I'll put everybody's information into the description so you can learn more about all the individual teachers and the conference itself. And also if you want to go, if you want to vend, and also they have now they have audio of all of the classes. You can get it a la carte, or you can get the whole like shebang, so the whole conference. And it's not too expensive. I think it's $10 a class, or like I think it's $100 for the whole conference, which is what I paid for going. So I think it's totally worth it. You get to also keep them, and you can listen for reference. So, all right, guys, bye.